Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double yeah.
Double yeah.
Duplicate yeah.
Duplicate.
Triple yeah. Triple duplicate yeah.
Quadruple.
All the duplicates yeah.
Quadruple yeah.
All duplicates everywhere.
Sextuplet yeah.
Like we're duplicates today.
We are duplicates today.
Except I didn't put my hat on.
Now, you've got a hat. For those that can
Apparently
see,
somewhere.
those can't see on the audio version of the show, Dan is hatless in Seattle.
Well, you can't see this beautiful cover of Madrox.
It's so mad.
Number 4.
Number 4.
There's lots of them. Actually, I love this one. The copy machine.
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean they're clones, or does that mean they're duplicates, or does that mean they're Xeroxes, which we could get sued for?
They're dittos.
Ditto Masters.
Dude, I'm just gonna, I have to say this because this fits. So this kid came into the shop the other day and he was like, dude, did you know the word ditto didn't exist until Pokemon? And now people say ditto all the time because of Pokemon, to his friend. And I was like, child, you are sorely mistaken. My hands were purple.
Yeah, you mean it wasn't used by the late and eternally burning in hell former talk show radio host, and then it wasn't used by the Ditto Master machine.
The Ditto Master machine.
By teachers.
Yes, I had the purple hand to prove it. Because I was always in trouble in elementary school.
I feel like they're anyway. Well,
Madrox is a ditto.
Yeah, I mean, let's not. No, I don't want to associate anything with that terrible human being who used that term all the time.
Well, I'm using it in the Pokemon term because that's what the kids today only know.
Ditto is a shitty Pokemon.
What? Get out of here. Ditto is not a shitty Pokemon.
You know, earlier I was wearing my Prody shirt.
Yeah.
From a company I'm not going to say the name of because they went from making really cool original art-based shirts and working with artists to collaborate to now printing covers on shirts and ripping off people and selling the art illegally without license.
Oh, good.
So once a really cool company selling some stuff that I liked, like Legion stuff, and then they got super lazy. And now just riff covers and sell them on shirts. And people, you know what pisses me off the most, by the way, not to get distracted by Ditto, besides Ditto, is that people buy these shirts and then post themselves wearing them. And then they get mad when you call them out in groups for ripping off the art.
Yeah.
Like you say, oh, is that licensed?
Nah.
Oh, are you paying the family of the artist that you stole that from?
No.
And they're like, oh, I didn't think about it. I just bought it.
No.
Oh, well, fuckface. Like, you are an idiot. And by the way, a company that I will not name, you fucking suck. And I'm pissed off that I ever bought shit from you. Because originally you did it the right way. And then you got lazy. And if your name is Shirts and Bearded, you suck as a company.
Oh, did you? You did?
Now.
No?
Not yet.
Not yet. No naming and shaming.
If I fully named... I wouldn't want to name the full name because if I name the full name, then I might get in trouble or get sued.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to do that. But if you're picking up what he's laying down, definitely.
And if you're another company that does this shit, knock it off.
Knock it off.
There are so many artists out there that would not, for not very much money, would, if you want to do fan art or you want to draw something and you want to sell unlicensed stuff, or you have a brand out there that you feel like you can just sell stuff for and we can buy it because it's cool. Cool, do that.
Yeah.
Like, pay the $500 for the art and run the shirts.
Yeah. I know. Like, I mean, I'll tell you from the retail side of things, buying things from licensed vendors and stuff like that, it does cost, but at least you don't have the icky feeling of knowing that you bought something sketchily, you know?
If somebody did a cover of something and you want to license that, then I'm sorry if you can't license that because you have to pay the artist who made it.
I know.
Well, we got off on dittos, and then I got off on copying, and then I got off on copywriting, and this is how my brain works. But we're gonna steer it back to positive things.
Well, it's almost like
not positive.
Well, it's almost like you're Madrox, and you like fell and bumped yourself and made multiples of you that were just spitting out different facts about different things. That's totally in vain.
Well, it's totally Dan to go non sequitur and spit off a bunch of random facts. But
true.
I will also say, very cool cover.
Yeah.
But before we get into Peter David, we do want to do a quick shout out.
Yeah.
And a rest in peace to, I don't want to say our friend, but podcast joke, podcast friend.
Yeah.
Podcast talk to Jim Shooter. Yeah. We're very sad that he passed away. Obviously, I mean, amazing career in comics.
Definitely.
Possibly over-bragged about some things, possibly under-bragged about some others.
Yeah.
Had amazing stories. We got to hear those stories at SummerCon last year. And with all, I even read posts again, and we thought this before we met him, but I read posts again after his death, like, oh, I heard he was really difficult to talk to. And I'm like, yeah, we were afraid to, but no, he was quite easy to talk to. He's a very enjoyable man. Started in comics when he was 13 years old. And led an amazing career as in working with Legion, DC, Superman, the Superman books, working with a notoriously tough editor, Mort Weisinger, and then moving over and becoming the editor-in-chief himself at Marvel Comics. And I think one of the best stories about that was he went to business school. So he started in comics, he went to business school, he came back to comics, then he went to Marvel, and he's like, they don't run this like a business. And for better or for worse, sometimes worse, sometimes better, but he ran Marvel Comics like a business. And so, if you're a big fan of comics getting out on time and getting your monthly book and seeing it and not having as many fill-in artists and things like that, Jim probably could be attributed to a lot of that. And I didn't know that until we joked about him a lot on the show. And then I did some research and reading. And I really had no idea because I was sharing with listener Jason / podcaster Jason. That Marvel in the 80s is a big blind spot for me.
Right.
Because I was a kid and I wasn't reading the Marvel comics in the 80s. I got to buy like one comic, and then if I used my money to buy other comics, it was usually like a DC comic. I did grab some West Coast Avengers in the 80s for a few issues. I did have some G.I. Joe comics, as you know. I bought probably 20 in the run. It wasn't a ton.
Yeah.
And I didn't go back and read X-Men until we were in high school.
Right.
Our friend Jen, well, I don't know if your friend, I think your friend too, Jen Baker. That's a callback.
Yeah, callback.
Who I haven't seen in ever. Yeah, because she went to college and never saw her again. But she was, if you're ever out there listening,
right?
She gave me her whole 80s X-Men run to take home and read. But I didn't do that until I was in high school. So, 80s, I've never read Secret Wars. Like I was telling Jason, I never read it. So, the whole 80s Marvel run is kind of a blindside to me. I rely on research, like you, Greg. I rely on you for that. I rely on our friend Palmer for information about Marvel 80s. He was reading Marvel in the 80s and I was reading DC.
He's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, when it comes to this stuff, I mean, he pulls random, we'll have a conversation and he's just like spouts off things. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah, that's like, it makes my memory. I have to go back and I'm like, oh yeah, that did it. Yeah.
And he can tell you all the Avengers leaders in the 80s and all that. And and then that's also how I learned about the whole history of the Ms. Marvel character and the criticism of, and then let's go. My criticism on Disney was, oh, you had an African-American Ms. Marvel female character. And then you brag about, oh, look at us. We made a white lady with blonde hair, Ms. Marvel. Look, this is like innovative. Look, a female superhero. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you had Ms. Marvel / Photon in the 80s under Jim Shooter's editorial regime. Right? Like, so, way to go, Disney. First time ever. Way to go.
Yeah, good job.
Kind of like when Jim said he did the first drug comic ever, which we covered on this podcast.
When you think
maybe bragging about things he didn't create. But
when you think about it, though, I mean, it hit the notes. It hit the notes. So I mean, it
did. And what I'll say too is we're going to honor Jim Shooter in a weird way.
Yeah.
Now our first thought was somebody suggested, should we do Secret Wars? Should we do Star Brand?
So good.
Should we go get so I got the first Legion issue sign that he did. Should we do those? Should we do like the Death of Pharaoh Lad in the Legion, which was a big deal because you had a character that died that didn't come back.
Yeah. That's not usual in the comic in that time.
Especially in Superman edited editorial office comics, where you were geared toward kids, and so that didn't usually happen. Should we do any of those things? And from the stories we heard, though, his amazing sense of humor, from the tributes that have gone out about his amazing sense of humor, and all of our jokes about Jim Shooter, pew pew, on the podcast.
Pew,
See, I did
pew.
your pew pew.
Pew pew.
In the past, we are going to honor Jim Shooter. We've got two more honor. I'm really tired of everybody dying because keep honoring people.
Stop.
I mean,
Stop
I like
dying,
honoring people, but
please.
I don't like this.
No.
I don't like this. Like, can we have a break? I don't want my creators to die, but I know this happens. And so we're finishing up with these two episodes with Peter David. But we are going to go back and bring a character into the show that we have talked about many, many times.
So many times. He's almost,
and we also
he's like a mascot of the show.
Yeah, he is like a mascot of the show. We are gonna start out after these two episodes. We're gonna start out. If you want to read ahead, we're gonna start out with Superboy and the Legion, starring, not Superboy and yet, because it wasn't the official title. It's Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes. So if you're a completist, we hadn't quite switched to the Superboy and, so we're still Superboy Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Number 221. Writer Jim Shooter and artist Mike Grell.
Oh. Another.
And so you're going to get some Grell goodness in that one. And we're going to cover the first appearance of Grimbor, the Chainsman.
Grimbor. Oh.
Or is it the Chain Master?
Maybe the Chain Master. I think it's the
Chainsman. I don't know if it's the
Chainsman.
Chainsman or that could be the Chains Master. It says the Chains Man. But I think he came later as the Chains Master. A character whose fetish gear was only made worse when Koreans drew it on a cartoon.
Oh, but it's so classy.
Well, but the cartoon, I don't know if I showed you the cartoon. It got worse.
We'll have to.
It's like his outfits got better over time.
Yeah.
And then it went, wow, on the cartoon.
It's definitely something. We'll have to bring a
Again,
couple.
thanks for Jason. Thanks, Jason, for sending me the clip from the cartoon that I had forgotten about that made the costume even worse.
Oh my gosh.
Because Jason was like, who is this? And we're like, well, not that. Slow down. And, the master of chains and things is certainly useful power in the 30th century.
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
of course.
Everybody else has other
because
things.
No one else would know how to do it.
Yeah. Except for the Chains Master. He's
Chains Man.
Chains Man. Yeah, he's the man of the chains. He's gonna hang you up and do things.
Well, we'll have to wonder what Jim had studied in college to come up with this character in his brain.
Of course. I will say one of the, just to jump back and we'll talk more about it too, but I really did thoroughly enjoy our time talking to him because it was one of those moments where you're talking to a creator, he's got a line of people, and he's just like, "No, we're talking. We're talking. They can wait." It was just nice.
Yep.
It was.
And when we came up, there was not a line. Right?
There wasn't. It just started to fill in, but he was more than happy to just keep the conversation going with us and just have a conversation.
And there would be a bigger line later in the day. We just got there very early in the day and got to Jim right at the beginning of the day and got to chat. But
perfect time.
Yeah, he did not. I mean, and we had similar experiences with Neil Adams.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had a similar experience with Neil Adams. I had I'm 12 years old. and I
Yes.
can't find words to talk to you, Mr. Adams, and I'm an idiot.
But yeah, I mean, I've had similar experience with a lot of creators.
Yeah.
Chris Sprouse, Gail
Hmm.
Simone,
She's
just,
fantastic.
you get up there. Well, even with, it wasn't a big line, but with Joel Jones, we were
Yeah.
just sitting there chatting as the line built behind
Yeah.
us about clam chowder.
Chowder
I
chat.
think you have to remember these folks are
Hmm.
real. And I will say, I probably lost all the business cards of the people that we talked to, because I'm an idiot. So we're gonna have to put together a back a list,
Yeah.
but we're gonna try over the next. I don't know if it'll be as Funny Book Forensics or if we'll put a different podcast title on it and start a different
Well,
run.
like,
But Greg and I, or Dan, or just Greg, but we're gonna try to meet with some creators, and we're gonna do a little bit of a different approach.
oh,
We're not gonna do, "Hi, how did you get started in comics? Hi, what was the first comic you read that got you excited? Hello, tell us why you invented Grimbor."
I mean,
Yeah,
it
we
could
want
be.
to get folks on. Yeah, we want to get folks on and do the same thing Greg and I
Yeah.
do. We just want to have a conversation with
Just
folks,
to
just like
talk.
we do when we go to those places and chat. And if they want to, and I think we're kind of batting around some ideas. I think one idea is just to have them bring on a comic they did
Yeah.
or a comic they read
Yeah.
and talk to us about it, just like we do with the comics here.
Exactly.
Uh, Another approach, I don't know. I was ready. I had my dream this morning, and I was thinking,
Oh,
not dreams, but I was walking around thinking about stuff,
yeah.
and I was thinking about Randy Emberlin,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, what if we did a whole podcast with just Randy? Which probably wouldn't happen. This is not a. I've never asked Randy this. Like we've only asked him to come on our
Yeah.
podcast. But I was like, how would we name the podcast? Could we call it like Raining Carnage,
Raining carnage.
Creating Carnage, Carnage everywhere? But
Getting
I'm
Randy
not
with
making fun of the
Randy.
names.
Nah, he messaged out of the
Well, no,
no, no.
Greg. You see, I knew.
But he messaged out of the blue yesterday about just to touch base to, hey, when do you guys want to, do something? And I was like, oh, hey, talk to Dan. We're gonna set that
Yeah,
up.
we've got to make that
Yeah,
happen.
he is.
But
He's great.
Randy's just one example of these creators that are out there that are great storytellers, and that's why they are in the business. They are great storytellers. That's the whole point. So we want to take advantage of that. Anyway, so I don't want to get too distracted. I want to get into Madrox. I did want to turn the conversation back to a positive.
Huh?
And if I'm going to tie back into the rant I had before this,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
that's doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Engaging with the creator and having them tell their stories. What?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is.
Giving them the credit for what they do.
Giving them the
Wow.
platform to expand upon their creative endeavors and discuss them and share the joy with those around them.
So anyway, all right. So we are gonna move on. So rest in peace, Jim.
Yes.
Randy will do the show soon, we promise. And I'll pull out some of the list of the other folks we got and see if we can get into contact with them. I don't know that we'll have enough to do its own podcast, so it may just become part of Funny Book Forensics. But yeah, we want to make sure that happens. And
Mini-sodes.
I don't want to lose somebody else before I have a chance to chat with them. Like
gotta
this.
get them. It's just like Pokemon. You gotta collect them all. Gotta get them all.
So, well, and on that note, we are recording at a different time than normal, but
I know.
your good friend Travis Webb is blasting me with messages right now from the Kickstarter campaign.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Unfortunately, this podcast will, I think, go out
after.
Well, when does it end?
The Kickstarter ends in 3 days from today. The Kickstarter has.
Oh well, this podcast will go out before it ends.
All right,
so you can still back.
You can still back it.
Yeah.
We are going for stretch goals right now on the Starlight graphic novel Kickstarter. We have hit the goal. But we would love to see it go further so that we can do more for you with other projects we have in the hopper. everything that we get from this just goes back into those things. So Brett is currently working on, as we discussed before, the Nemesis project that Travis and him had put together for the
secret project.
I can talk about it now because they are talking about it. Yes, the secret project, the Nemesis, the Nemesis sequel. So from the 90s Albert Pien movie Nemesis. It is a sequel that Albert Pien's estate has given the stamp of approval for, and we're moving forward with that. And there might be another project related to Nemesis coming out by yours truly. Oh, stay tuned, folks.
Well, I just want to say, if you're hearing this podcast while there's 48 hours to go, so this may be done before the podcast. See, it says it ends at 11. Wow, you may get to the podcast after it ends.
Okay, well,
because it ends at 11:04 a.m. on July 6th. Okay. So this podcast will probably be out a little bit later in the afternoon.
Oh, drat.
Maybe I'll put some effort out and try to get it out Saturday so you can hear this podcast before.
You're the best.
So who knows? I may try to do something since now we're talking about it. But if I don't get it out ahead of time, I'm sure there's still going to be a way to buy this thing, so you can. We'll get you in touch with Travis. If not, it's okay. But I'm going to tell you, I have now a full-fledged endorsement of this project.
Yeah.
I did not before.
No?
I didn't.
You do now, though.
Because of one thing.
What is the one thing, Dan?
Lack of page numbers.
Oh, lack of page numbers.
Lack of page numbers.
And now?
But I have seen.
Yeah?
So there's some previews of this book that there will indeed be page numbers.
It was a 3-1 decision to put the page numbers in. I was the one that said no. I said no because I didn't want Dan to be happy. But
clearly everyone else is correct.
Travis wanted Dan to be happy, and Brett bended to Travis's will.
There are page numbers in this. So,
and
if we ever reviewed the whole thing at once, which, I mean, would be sort of silly because we reviewed all the individual issues, but if we did do the whole thing at once, there would be page numbers to tell you to go to when things happen.
I should say, actually, a 4-1 decision, because also Tom was like, dudes, guys, page numbers, why?
Wow. Tom wanted page numbers?
I think that was a way in on for
the most experienced person on the project wanted page numbers.
I'm pretty sure that was part of
the legend.
The legend. I believe that was part of the. I'm putting my head. It's a shame.
Yes. See. Once again, I was right. Just like when I was right about John Byrne. Jim Shooter told us I was right that he just was totally ripping Dave Cockrum's X-Men designs.
Yes, Dan is right, everyone.
And once again,
Dan is
right again.
Right again, yes.
About page numbers.
About page numbers, yes. So there's page numbers in the book. So if you are looking for a compendium of Starlight with page numbers, so you know what's going on every single page, you too can have your book with all the numbers. All of them. Yeah, it's
unlike this book.
Unlike that book with no page numbers. Madrox number 4. No page numbers. I got a little mixed up reading the book, but I was glad to be able to find my way.
Well, good news. Yeah. Madrox number 4.
Yeah.
These are some hard transitions in this podcast. We are just like bouncing from topic to topic.
I know.
But Madrox number 4, we've got a copy machine.
Yeah.
It's called Madrox as opposed to a different company.
It's a Madrox copy machine. Yeah.
Yeah. And
got an X in it.
There's like a spy Madrox. There's like a ninja Madrox. There's like a musician Madrox. There's like a wizard Madrox. There's a scientist Madrox. There's an Olympic champion Madrox.
Oh.
There's all these Madroxes. They're everywhere.
There's any kind of Madrox you can imagine. There is one.
All learning skills to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
And we flip the page. And by the way, remember how I was complaining about how the advertising has dipped since issue 1
Yeah.
and the things that we were getting
Yeah,
advertised
yeah,
weren't
yeah,
so
yeah,
good?
yeah.
Well,
What'd you get?
clearly people were reading this comic.
Oh, yeah.
Because the advertising is back
It's back
for this. Because on
What do
the
we got?
internal cover, we have an advertisement for one of the best movies ever made.
Is that Dodgeball?
It is
Oh
Dodgeball.
man, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and duck.
Ah, that is, classic film. Good cast, great lines, super quotable.
I mean, it does have my arch enemy in it,
Yeah.
but he's the villain.
He's the villain.
So it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I can tell you this, Dodgeball is great when you're playing with all adults. If you're playing with children, it's not a great thing if you're an adult.
Also, the movie Dodgeball is the best, one of the best. I mean, I watch it every 6 or 7 months.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's classic.
If you're having a bad day,
Throw a dodgeball.
some of the comedy has dated itself.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Dodgeball, Grandma's Boy. Then I'm like, oh, this is my life.
I'm waiting for the criticisms now because Dan likes Dodgeball.
It's okay, Dan. You can like Dodgeball. It's not like you said other movies from that era. So Dodgeball is a good choice. There's a lot to choose from, and Dodgeball is a good one.
It's just it's a feel good story.
It's a feel good story. It's like the Bad News Bears, but Dodgeball, but they win.
Well, when we left Jamie last time, he was in a building with the reporter guy.
Yes.
Right?
With Stringer?
Everything was crashing down.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's in the fire.
Oh, gosh.
And we get him saying, I've read that going up in flames is absolutely the worst way to die.
Yeah.
You get a little recap here. I'm Jamie Madrox, the multiple man, mutant turned private detective at a sideline. I send my dupes out into the world to learn things and then rejoin with me so their knowledge is mine. That way I can experience, everything. In this case, though, when it comes to learning firsthand the truth about being incinerated, it's one thing that I have no burning desire to experience.
I don't think anybody wants to have that. No, it's a bad.
Well, Jamie is wandering through the fire.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah, he gets hit by some. Wow. He gets hit by a beam. That makes more Jamies.
Oh my gosh, there's so many Jamies.
And then Jamies are dying.
Yeah, he gets to experience Jamie in a fire. Oh my god. No.
But if he doesn't reabsorb the Jamie, then does that really happen?
No, he doesn't. I think no, maybe. Does he?
But then we go back to the reveal a few hours ago. When he meets his other Jamie that was in control. Now, did I jump ahead? Did we not leave him off in a fire? Did we leave off where he met Jamie?
He met Jamie. He wasn't in the fire yet. It was like a smash cut.
I'm jumping ahead.
If it was a movie, it was a smash cut to a fire.
I'm jumping ahead. My bad.
It's okay.
It's because I've read the story.
Yeah.
I know what happens.
Your brain.
I get confused.
Your brain did
I'm
it.
old.
I had to actually go back because I was like, did I miss something? I was like, what's going on?
But we go back to the Jamies where the one Jamie broke the other Jamie's fingers who was trying to rescue the other Jamie from the swimming pool.
He wasn't rescuing him.
He was trying to. We've got mean gangster guy. We've got fiance Sheila. We've got what's this guy's name again?
Assassin guy.
Assassin guy.
It's yes.
I keep wanting to call him Brick, but that's not his name.
It's not his name. They say his name later.
That's a Green Arrow villain.
Yeah,
Clay. That's why I was trying to call him Brick. See, because he's clay.
Bricks are made of clay. Did you ever go?
We had Brick over in Green Arrow. You have Clay over here.
Did you ever go to the brick factory as a field trip when you were a kid? Man, it was so cool. When I was a kid, I wanted to work at the brick factory. It seemed so cool. Just making bricks all day.
Well, I mean, it probably seemed cool.
It did. I don't know. I mean, that's how my brain works. I'm like, that's not just shooting.
Now the ads are still intrusive in this book.
Okay, what's the next ad?
Now, remember I was telling you they were started advertising good movies?
Yeah.
I lied.
Oh, what? Oh, Elektra. I mean, eh, eh.
Yeah.
You watch Daredevil before, and you're like, oh yes, they're gonna bring Elektra in, and then you watch Elektra, and you're like,
I think what's frustrating is you had very good source material.
mm-hmm.
And if you would have followed the source material,
Yeah,
well, Bullseye is really lame, actually.
in the movie, I was super excited.
No, Bullseye's lame in
the
his
just
we've discussed this. His costume is stupid.
Yeah, well, it is.
It has a
He's got
bullseye,
and it's
so
a
like
big
he's
forehead.
an expert marksman, but you can shoot him on the forehead because why would
target.
if you were trying to why would you put a target on your brain where people would shoot you? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Like I was excited. Jennifer Garner. I'm like, yeah. At the time, I was like, oh, this is cool. I just watched a bunch of like her show and stuff like that, and this is cool. And at the time, I was like jazzed, and yeah, there was some moments where I was like, okay, end please.
Well, even better.
Yeah.
We flip the page and we get to go back to the story.
Okay. Yes. Back.
And the Jamies are arguing.
Yes, they're arguing. Two Jamies go into a room. One Jamie leaves.
One Jamie is like, man, I'm the only detective who should have been issued a psychiatrist's couch alongside his license. And the other Jamie is like, not everything about you's hotshot. The fact that you should have never gotten involved with her. So Jamie is mad at Jamie for wanting to get involved with Sheila. And then the other Jamie is like, let's go of her. There's nothing going on between us, nothing. And then she's like, we're married. I'm like, what?
That?
Okay.
Married? He didn't remember that.
It's apparently happening.
They're married.
And it's, you're messaging listener Jason as we speak. That's what's going on in the background.
Listener Jason has messaged us. And he said, just so everyone else can know, because he's like happy 4th and covering the 4th issue. So,
okay. Well, anyway, back to the podcast that people had no idea why this conversation was happening. That I just cut an interlude to.
Why not? It's fun.
Hey, it's real life, real times here.
Yeah,
on this
man,
discussion.
real times.
You just get the reality.
Sometimes we've had Travis call in. Try to.
Yeah, well, not on purpose. So give. By the way, now I'm distracted. Shout out to Travis. I thought I was gonna run to Las Vegas and hang out with Travis, and then was trying to book the trip right over my Superman tickets.
Oh my gosh!
So now I have to find another time to go visit Travis. Travis, I'm sorry. I was excited.
Can't do it.
And so I'll find a different
day. Can't go.
But yeah. So anyway, we get a whole discussion of these guys. We don't know what's happening, and then Sheila's trying to justify back to mean gangster guy what's going on.
Yeah.
That's Eddie. And he's just like, shut up. I hate everyone. And I said and then that's what I will say about these 2000s comics, man. The advertisements are very intrusive. We've mentioned that. Now you get iRobot.
Ow. Yeah. I mean,
better or worse than Elektra?
Better than Elektra. Better than Elektra. Although I feel like we're yeah. We'll leave it at that. Better than Elektra.
Better than Elektra. We flip the page and boom, because we get no page numbers. So if you're looking in the comic, you're looking after the iRobot ads.
Yes.
That's a new thing we could do with these comics. There's so many ads in them. We could just, instead of telling people where page numbers are, we can just tell them to which ad to look for, and then they could go to the page to find it.
Oh, yeah. You could do that.
But anyway, this Jamie wants to shoot the other Jamie with a gun.
Oh.
This is not going well.
It is not.
Why doesn't he just reabsorb? Well, anyway, and Jamie's again thinking about all the things. When I absorb the Shaolin dupe, a certain amount of enlightenment came with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Tao, the teachings, the understanding, the acceptance of the yin and the yang, the following the eightfold path, be your own light, your own refuge. And the other Jamie is like, goodbye, Dad. And then we get disrupted with an advertisement for the Incredibles.
The
game.
Yeah. Oh, the game. Yeah. Good game.
We're just popping by that because we analyzed that last week.
Well, I'm finding my center so I can absorb.
Yeah, and then Jamie just absorbs himself from across the room.
He just grabs him. Just it's
takes care of that threat.
Yeah, right in.
And he grabs Sheila to go for the honeymoon. We get another advertisement.
What's it? What's the advertisement for?
I hope they got paid. Well, it's for a pretty shitty movie. That was a joke.
Oh.
One Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
No, so now we actually have a question for you, Greg.
Okay.
Yeah, because these are so good now. Napoleon Dynamite or Dodgeball?
Oh man, I'm a Napoleon Dynamite guy when it comes to it. Honestly, like we had at the house, we had for a long time Napoleon Dynamite fighting Godzilla, with a bunch of tots around him as a centerpiece display, and then there was a big thing, like Ann and I are Napoleon Dynamite people, so.
I mean, that's fair. I will just say for me, Dodgeball, a movie I can watch over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite, a movie I watch once and go, it's really clever.
Oh wow. I mean, I can see that, but it's also like a snapshot of. I mean, okay. Think about this, and I'll put it into perspective. That might also make it so that you're like, that's probably why you're like, okay, that's clever, and I can only watch it once and be like done with it.
Well, I didn't say only watch it once.
You
watch it once, you get the joke.
Yeah.
It's good.
I feel like Napoleon Dynamite is a snapshot of small town anywhere. And we grew up in small town anywhere until it became a big town. And we knew a Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. And we lived that experience.
And then moved away.
Yes. To another small town.
Yeah. Many small towns.
Many small towns. And continued to be Napoleon Dynamites.
We get another ad.
Yes.
This is a 2-page ad for Anti-Grav.
Anti-Grav? Is that a video game? What? Is that a... What?
I have no idea what this is.
Is that a PlayStation 2 game?
Yes, it is.
Is it a racing game?
It comes with an iToy USB camera and.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I think it's one of those ones where you have to move to get. It's like a hoverboard game or something like that, if I remember.
Well, I just want to say that we got 1 page of story and 4 pages here.
Good Lord. You also got some questions. I don't know if you want to check your messages, but...
Well, hang on the questions here.
Okay, hang on the questions. Okay.
So Jamie jumps out. This is actually a really cool scene, which annoys me that it's like meshed among all these ads.
Yeah. Oh.
Jamie jumps with Sheila and then rolls down the hill and creates a billion Jamies to land on top of.
Yeah, it's a cool... Like, that panel is rad. There's so many Jamies, and it's a huge hill. It's like
and we get another advertisement.
It's like one of those slides you go down as a kid. Like one of those really long slides. It like burns you when it's hot, but it's just all Jamie's. So that'd probably burn you because he's hot.
Wow. Yep. and then we get another advertisement. One is to buy support Aung San Suu Kyi. Which was in Burma, which, in retrospect, well,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't always get it right.
Yeah.
With international politics.
Right.
I I mean, she did some good things and then some not. So, well, anyway. And then advertisement for SpongeBob season 1 again.
Hey, SpongeBob.
And then another 2-page advertisement. I can't joke about this. This is insane.
Marvel's getting that money.
These comics are impossible to read.
What was that advertisement for? That's a spread advertisement.
Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls.
Good Lord.
On the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a GBA game. And if you're playing Final Fantasy on a GBA, you must love Final Fantasy. Boy, oh boy. Tiny, tiny, tiny pixel screen. But great if you're just going on the go and just playing in the pocket. So,
well, we finally get back to the story.
And
the Jamies are all in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then he absorbs all the dupes that just bounced down the thing. And he says, I've never reabsorbed that many dupes in one shot before. It was like looking in 100 directions at once.
Dang.
He's like, hey, that was trippy. So clearly better than mushrooms. We go back to the sub-story. We're back to New York.
Okay.
Halfway through the issue. Approximately. I'm not sure because I don't have page numbers, but it looks like approximately
halfway, yeah.
Actually, it is exactly halfway through the issue because I can see the staples.
When I hit this part of the book, I almost forgot this was happening.
Yeah. Well, you don't have all the advertisements either.
I don't.
You're reading it online.
I know,
right?
yeah. So
I have. So you're just getting to read right through. And if you're looking on the thing, you can actually see the staples. See, so I can tell it's the middle. Yeah. That's how you can see. That's how cool I am. I have staples in my comics.
Staples in his comics, people.
Not everybody has staples in their comics.
That's true.
Actually, everybody has staples in their comics. So we get back to Mutant Town. Rain is looking out for Jamie. We had Guido back on the ground after being blasted by that lady out of the building. Rain is tracking down the ghost body of the paralyzed husband who we think is cheating, and she's tracking that person through the city. And then we get more advertisements.
More advertisements?
Yeah. So you're going to make fun of me for not knowing what this game is? Is that Borderlands?
No, it's not Borderlands. It's, hold on a second. Oh, man. I want to say it's a PlayStation game.
Our victory is imminent.
Is that PlayStation 3? Does it say?
And it does not say it. That's all it says.
Huh.
It's on the other page. Killzone.
Yeah, I was going to say Killzone.
Because there's a Marvel, The Cup of Joes here by Joe Quesada.
It's actually, I played, I have all those games. and
well, there you go.
I will say, I mean, if you want my rating on it, it's a game that I played through. If you want to kill space Nazis, which was fun.
Well, we get the Cup of Joe segment by Joe Quesada, where he's talking about X-23 and Peter David and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, thank you, first appearance of X-23, a comic book I didn't really want that I bought for $2.99, had graded and sold for $998.
I remember.
That doesn't happen very often in my collection, but I probably spent $50,000 on comics in my life. But there was one time when I bought that one comic for $2.99,
and I will say I was conflicted with you doing the grading on it, but I'm glad that you did.
Well, I also graded the second appearance and got $300 on that one back too.
Yeah.
So. Well, I graded at a 9.8. Who knew? Anyway, Rain is tracking down this person.
Tracking.
And he goes and meets his lover.
Ooh. Meeting the lover.
It's Kim, the guy, not Kim, the girl. So the wife was wrong.
Oh.
And then realizes he's being spied on.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
And it's the dark side of private detectiving, I guess.
Yeah. Got caught.
And he starts running away.
In HD. Or, well, I mean, at this time it was
And
not
then we get an
HD.
advertisement, and then we get another 2-page advertisement to disrupt the story for Jack 3.
Jack 3. Yeah. That's a fun game too. That's a good one.
Yeah. People love that series,
Yeah,
right?
it's the character looks cool, the gameplay is fun. It's just a cool world to run around in.
Then we're back to the outskirts of Chicago. I'm sure Chicagoans would not call this Chicago. In fact, I've never seen a road like this in Chicago with this many trees. It's this away from the city. So
You gotta be far up in North Chicago. North Chicago.
Yeah, you got to be like in Milwaukee.
That's in Wisconsin. Yeah, there's not even that's even further up. That's in north Wisconsin.
Isn't Chicago then Milwaukee?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's Chicago.
Like if you're going to Milwaukee and it's too expensive to fly to Milwaukee, you can fly to Chicago.
Yeah, but Milwaukee's in Wisconsin.
Or is it Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. Yes.
The Algonquin word for
Milwaukee.
The good land.
Yes. Well, how did you know that?
Wow.
Wow.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. We suck.
Man.
See? Sometimes I can pull the references out.
Good Wayne and Garth moment.
God. Anyway, all right. Well, he's saying, look, Mrs. Madrox, before this gets out of hand, okay, more about out of hand than already. We're having a whole discussion, and he reveals that her Jamie was stabbed.
Oh.
And she's like, oh my God. She's like, my guess, it would be Clay. He does all the bad things.
That Clay. Always the bad
and
guy.
She's like, yeah, he did. Nowadays, he plays everything close to the vest. Okay. And this is Eddie she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, care to elaborate? He said, she says, this is Sheila. He's had sources telling him for the past year, Mutants have been trying to clear out all the Chicago bosses so the Mutant could take over. Sources who have since disappeared. So no, Eddie's taking it seriously. And other bosses have been going, so they're blaming the mutants. Eddie blames this mystery mutant. He says it's like the guy reads minds, knowing what everybody's up to.
Uh-oh.
Is that our fair reporter they're referring to?
Dun, dun, dun.
And then Jamie says, son of a... Starting to put it together. They end up at the Sun and Sand Motel with air conditioning, AARP, discounts, cable TV, and a continental breakfast.
Yeah, because,
and a jacuzzi.
Oh, nice.
And as Sir used to tell us, that's our old mentor.
Yeah.
If you're at a hotel and the door is open to the outside, that's a motel. And this one is called a motel.
Hey.
And if the door is open to the inside, it's a hotel. And if you call yourself a hotel and your door is open to the outside, you're not a hotel.
You're a motel.
You're a motel. So, it's, why are we stopping here? And he says, it's where I'm staying. Go in and ask for a room key. I'm checked in under the name Legion.
Oh.
I don't want Legion showing up in this series. Now, the Legion showing up could be an interesting inter-company crossover.
It could be wild.
I also don't want Legion showing up in the series at all.
Why not, Dan?
Well, one, I don't like the character ever.
No.
Never have. Two, don't name things after what I like and then make them bad characters.
Bad characters. Didn't like the
Three,
TV show?
And she's like, Legion, I don't understand. Sheila says, and I say, neither does DC editorial. So, it's, well, don't sweat it. They have cell phones. See, they're more advanced than me at this point.
Yeah.
In history. Well, anyway, he's talking to Stringer, and he's got to meet him because he's discovered that maybe Stringer is the one that's been plotting all this by reading people's minds and doing stories. And we flash back to New York.
Right.
Rain is trying to Rain is now being attacked by the smoky guy.
The ghost man. I don't know is he ethereal? I don't know. He's ethereal.
It's apparently not too ethereal because he slices his neck.
Yeah. Gets him.
And he dies.
It's like when you die like in a dream and you don't wake up.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And he's bleeding out.
That's
that's
how Freddy got the kids.
And Rain is not wow, she's uh-oh. That's what she says. Uh-oh.
I made a mistake. Spaghetti house.
No, it was nice. It was nice to have a few pages of story not interrupted by a commercial.
And then you got a commercial.
Yeah, well, we get an advertisement for Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. This looks just like a game I would never play.
You know, okay, so I'm going to tell you, it is on my...
Stupid.
It was one of those things I played, one of my friends wanted, because you could play multiplayer, you can tag team and stuff like that, and there was like a bunch of like little side missions and stuff. So you don't play the game like you're supposed to play the game and just go around and just be dumb about stuff. It's dumb fun. It's an interesting game, but it's made to be goofy in a sense, you know. It's a very tongue-in-cheek, kind of like a GTA game. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds right up my alley.
Oh, totally up your alley.
You hit all the high points there. GTA.
I know.
Favorite
exactly.
series
Yeah,
ever.
I know. Yeah.
Slapping those bitches and hoes.
You know, I mean, it's those are your favorite things.
Yeah. I mean, GTA. Great. Teaching morality and values since it was invented. Well, anyway. We flipped the page. We're back to Chicago, and Madrox is talking to Stringer now, and he's blaming Stringer for all the violence and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Stringer's really pissed. And then a fire lights in the building, and they're in a death trap. And we get back to where the beginning of the comic was.
Mm-hmm.
We flip the page. We get an ad for Westfield Comics.
Oh, cool.
And honestly, thank you, Westfield Comics, for giving me my comics when I lived in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky.
They got them to you.
Before I moved to the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, and found a comic shop in Hattiesburg and started buying from them.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that story? Not to get too distracted, but I went from Westfield. They were great, by the way.
Yeah.
I should have just kept ordering from them. But I went to... And then I went to Hattiesburg, and there were two comic shops there.
Yeah.
Well, one was like a coin and comic shop, and then the other one was like a traditional comic
Right.
shop. And I go to the comic shop, and they are just assholes. And then other people I'd talked to in the town said they would take books out of your monthly pulls if they were valuable, and then sell them back to you at a higher price.
What?
So I signed up at this little comic shop nobody else went to.
Yeah.
I mean, some people went there, but they made me a box, and they were a coin dealer too. Mm-hmm. And it was just this family that ran it, and they were like super cool. They would give me extra stuff all the time.
Oh, wow. Good customer service, man.
So they were like, "Oh, hey, we got this other cover. Do you want it?" Like, sure, here, we'll just take it.
Wow. Man.
And that is where I would have bought my that NYX book.
Because
that was in that pristine condition, because they were dealing with, anyway.
Man.
Very different. Well, anyway, we get back. A fire is happening. Stay back.
Oh, no.
Somebody comes in and murders Stringer.
Stringer gets jacked.
It looks like it's X-23. No, that's a different noise. That's a skeleton. That's not a snick. Yeah. It's SK. Here, I'll hold it up for the readers. SKKLNKT. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's not a
snick. It's
not a snicked. It's a different. Yeah.
It's a skitty.
So it's not a Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
And we flash back, and Sheila's buttoning up her shirt. What was going on back there with Clay and Sheila?
I don't know, man.
Clay's back.
Clay's back.
I do think it's funny that there's like a brick over in Green Arrow around this time who's like the same color.
Yeah.
But older and all, bowed out and swolled
Ricked
up.
up.
And then Clay here who's the same color. And yeah, anyway. We get an advertisement again for Crusade, your favorite series ever.
Yes. No.
So we do go downhill by the end and then back to Fable.
Hey.
And looks like Madrox is in bad shape here. They've killed the reporter. Clearly it wasn't the reporter. It sounds like Madrox has been duped by Sheila.
Madrox is duped. The duper got duped.
I'm putting the comic book back in its magical bag.
Greg,
yes. Well,
yeah.
A good story so far.
A good story. I mean, like, so far.
Great advertisements.
Advertisements on point. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, advertisements aside, story. Peter David out of the park, kept me engaged. Like the whole thing all the way through. I twists and turns here and there. Just like even with the sub story and stuff like that too. It's just like there's all these different elements that fall into place and make you really think. A lot of movement going on through the story, and it's just like great storytelling in that. And then the visual storytelling through the art is just amazing. Just like they really draw your attention to all these different details. So if you haven't read this book and you're hearing us just talk about it, you should definitely take a look at it yourself, because the details that they put into these things are just great. Like that whole entire chain of Madroxes on the hill, just a neat panel, and the way they put different things together just really make everything flow so well as you're reading through the different bits of things, and you're just like, okay, I don't know what to do first. Do I read this or do I look at all the cool art? Because it's all there, married up.
So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So we will do one listener question.
Only one?
Not live as we did the podcast. Yeah, there are several, but I'm not doing all.
You're not doing them all.
I will answer the first one.
Okay, the first one.
So the question was, would Lorna Durgo, and that is triplicate girl / duo damsel, or triad, depending on which version of Legion you're reading, versus Jamie Madrox, versus Duplicate from Invincible. Who would win? I mean, the answer is very simple. Jamie would win, because number one. Well, actually, I'm going to put a caveat on that. It depends on the version of Lorna Durgo. So in the Archie Legion and the 3-boot Legion and the original Legion, Lorna could only go in up to 3. So I don't think she's probably winning. Duplicate is a riff character off of the Jamie Madrox character, who magically is Chinese and has mixed martial arts abilities. And I'm not going to go into the racist implications of having somebody that can duplicate multiples being Chinese. I don't even want to like get into that. Actually, I did. So I'm just going to say I'm going to go with Jamie, because I'm going to go with the less racist character on this one.
Okay.
Also, Duplicate hasn't shown any ability to absorb the other things like Jamie does, where he sends dupes out and they learn things and they come back and he knows stuff. However, Duplicate maybe could win because maybe she doesn't have the internal angst between the clones, but I'm probably going to say Jamie on that one, because Duplicate is a derivative.
Okay.
Derivative character of Jamie. Because obviously a lot of the Invincible characters are riffs on other characters, and so
I see.
I'll go with the original over the derivative.
Okay.
But and the less racist of the two.
Fair.
Now, in the 3-boot Legion, the Mark Waid Legion.
Yeah.
When he relaunched it around this time, Lorna Durgo, actually, Triplicate Girl, had a whole planet of herself.
Oh.
So that character probably defeats both.
Okay. Because her whole planet comes to...
It's just her.
Just her doing...
Yeah, so, I mean, she's learned economics, politics, manufacturing. I mean, I mean,
Gotcha.
Jamie knows a lot, but I don't know that he knows the entire economics of running a whole planet and integrating with the United Planets and all the, of that.
Having to do all the things.
So I would argue that she probably could beat both of them.
Yeah, I mean, one Madrox versus the whole entire planetary population is that I don't think he can. I think he would be very tired.
Yeah, and single functioning. I will say, good on Peter for stealing, and he may have come up with this on his own, but I'm pretty sure Peter David followed Legion.
Yeah.
The derivative for Jamie's multiple personalities, in I think it was Jeff Moy, or was it? Well, I have to look this up. But in the 90s, Triplicate Girl, Triad. So when they did the Archie Legion. They started with the idea that she had the 3 bodies, and each of the 3 bodies had distinct personalities. And actually, Jim Shooter did a story on this a long, long time ago. So, Duo Damsel, one of the duplicates, they split. One went on a mission, and one stayed home, and the other one fell in with the wrong crowd and was dating this crazy man. So, actually, call back to Jim Shooter. Kind of had that original idea, and then when they went back and did the Legion, they gave her 3 different. So after they relaunched the Legion after 0 Hour, Triad ended up having 3 separate personalities when she split.
Okay. So
one was a more aggressive, one was a more shy, and then you had the Triad neutral, who was kind of a combination of both. So that does sound a little bit like, not the going out and finding stuff, but that does sound a little bit like what Peter David was doing with the fighting between the Jamies. And they did do a whole Legion story where that became an issue for Triad. And then later on, they did it again, but we're not worried about later on because Tom McCraw, sorry, I said the wrong person. Tom McCraw created with Mark Waid and Stuart Emo. I never say his name right. Yeah. Great. I mean, I won't say great artist. Interesting artist. Not my favorite.
Not your favorite.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to. I would totally buy a print from him. So here's where I'm going to be a hypocrite. I would totally go buy a print from you, Stuart. Just the Legion art wasn't my favorite. But other things you have done are truly amazing. So yeah, and I would probably buy a Legion print from him.
Fair.
But it's yeah. Anyway, he's done so many amazing things, so I don't want to get into that. I'm getting distracted now.
That's all right.
Like normal by Jason's question, but yeah.
That's why he did it.
So, yeah. Anyway. You all right over there?
I got the hiccups.
Troubles. Okay. Well, anyway, it's I think we're done.
I think we're done with this issue and this episode. But there's one more.
We have to advertise.
Oh, we got to advertise.
Yeah, well, we are gonna. Yeah, we got.
Yeah,
we have Madrox number 5. We're doing next.
Come on back.
Also, you can see Greg at the Retro Emporium in Kent, Washington.
It's true. You can with our new extended hours. That's right, folks. At the Retro Emporium. Where, Dan?
On Meeker Street in Kent, Washington.
That's right. We are open until 8 o'clock. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Wow.
I know. So we're
you can see Greg there on some days, but not on Tuesdays.
No, you can see me on Tuesdays. Most
No,
Wow.
because we record the podcast on
Wow.
Tuesdays.
We have to talk about that, Dan.
So you will not see Greg. So the podcast is ending, so you can see Greg at the Retro
Sorry,
Emporium.
everybody. This last episode of the podcast. No, we just had to revise our recording schedule.
And then, yeah. So, all right. And then you can also buy some books from Greg. You can support the Kickstarter, obviously, for Starlight, if I get this podcast out. But you have very limited time. So if you're gonna buy the full-on extra special features, have seen some of the things. Travis has posted stuff, flipped through it. We reposted some of it. It looks pretty amazing. If you want to get that, I would go get it. But support it, like, literally after you hear us talking about it, because it will be done.
It'll be done. So
also, you have another book,
Absolute Zeros, Camp Launchpad, a great summertime read for your kiddos or even yourself. It's a middle reader, and it is a fun sciencey book about a bunch of kids that go to a space summer camp and learn about space and all the things that it takes to get to space while learning about friendship, even though they don't get along.
And as far as I'm concerned, you will not see me all summer. I'm hiding in the bunker. So
He's hiding.
You can go see Greg.
You can see me.
But yeah, other than that, unless I decide to like randomly go visit Travis in Las Vegas or something. So
you're not going to come see me? Okay. Fair, I guess. Fine, Dan.
No, we went out with the other 1,800 people and watched wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. That was good. We could talk about that next episode.
All right. We already talked about it last episode. Anyway, I'll finish this up. All right, we're done. So, join us again for another episode. Read ahead, Madrox number 5, coming out next week. We will talk to you then. Bye.